If you see like an old Gibson, you know, you think, old Gibson, with cracks or not. But you think, you know, there's this chemistry going on in your head, like, hey, that must be a nice guitar, you know. And then when you hold them and you start playing them, you know, that expectation doesn't always really meet your demand. Not all vintage guitars for a player are that good. Where they are for a collector, they are very good, you know. Like, but there's a lot of really old vintage, totally original guitars that don't work for me for a player. They're not in tune higher up the neck, or they. Yeah, maybe their stuff loose, you know, they should have been, they're not well taken care of. Really works for me if a guitar has this resonance thing going on. A lot of newer guitars, you know, they have a lot of highs and a lot of lows, you know, and the sound is not always so together, you know, like the highs, the mids and the lows, like so compact as on an older vintage guitar. And I think what happens with the sound spectrum, it comes together because it's been a guitar for just a longer period of time than a newer guitar. What I'm looking for is the well-played, player-grade guitar. You know, and sometimes, I mean, really, I've played on like totally original guitars that really blew my mind, like old Martin D18s, you know, that really like, how is this possible, you know? And it's fantastic what happens. It's not just the sound, it's the feel. Of course it has to do with, you know, like it's the old Martin D18, holy grail thing, you know. That also affects your inspiration on wanting to play on one of those guitars. But not all of them have that thing, you know. So on vintage guitars, like the real vintage, very sought after vintage guitar sound, you know, I really think, having played a few of the Atkin and Pre-War guitars, that those two brands are really doing a very good job in coming very close to the real thing, you know. That said, we could try one. So here, yeah, so this is like a 1934 00. The real deal. Sounds fantastic. You know, this is a Adirondack top, mahogany back and sides, neck, ebony fretboard, ebony bridge. It has bar wire frets, which are different. Actually, it's like a different way of doing the frets. Before World War II, they switched over. I think close before World War II, they switched over to like the modern frets that look different. Anyway, there is a sound difference there, but really nice, old, well played in guitar. So as for comparison, Now we could try this one. Yes, so this is like the pre-war version of the 0018 with a little. This is like this is an OM style, so it has the bigger scaling. But for the rest of that, it's almost like the same guitar, the same specs as the pre-war one. And what is nice about it, compared to Atkin's pre-war, has a style of a bit more. They sort of like relic a bit, or maybe even a lot more than Atkin does. It really is, as far as I can see, I like it a lot because it really gives you the feeling that I can pick up the guitar, even though I know it's new, that I can pick it up without being scared that it'll scratch with my pick or anything. So, yeah, I like that. Guitar. The funny thing about this guitar maybe is that although it hasn't been played that much as the older guitar, it really the focus of the focus, you know, it's pretty much focused, a lot more focused than other newer guitars, you know. So they really do a very good job on creating that. And the only thing that you might be missing with this guitar and the real thing is that it hasn't been a guitar for that long of a period, and it hasn't been played that long. But actually, you know, for the rest, it's a really very good thing. Yeah, so this is Atkin, their version on the 00, the exact same specs as the original pre-war Martin 0018. And what I like about it is they sort of like, that is also the big difference between pre-war and Atkin guitars, is Atkin sort of like, they don't really relic that much as pre-war does. So they sort of like, I think their principle is more of like a closet classic or new old stock guitar where, you know, it's been played in a bit and then, you know, but not as heavily as with what you can get with the pre-war. So like all the edges, you know, it really feels good and plays well as soon as you know, if you pick it off the wall or from the standard, you know, it's nice. Yeah, so this is a J45 from, let me see, 1946. Very, very vintage. Cracks and all, and cracks on the back as well. It sounds really very nice. The strings are a bit old, but you can really hear them, hear the guitar ring, you can feel it ring. Yeah, so this is the this is Atkin's take on the sloped shoulder model from Gibson. This is the first time I'm touching it. Nice new strings. Very fresh sounding guitar. I like it a lot. You know, it's very much, it has a more of a vintage sound to it than other guitars. What I like about it is it's a bit more open than a lot of the older vintage guitars, like truly vintage guitars. I like that. It has a bit more clarity to it. That's really nice. It might not be that resonant as a well-played-in guitar is, you know. But for like a new guitar, I think it's pretty impressive, you know, how it rings out already, to put it that way. There's not a dull sound in it, you know? It's a different sound compared to like a vintage guitar. And I like for me, you know, I really like that's a personal thing, I like the sound of a sloped shoulder. You know, it's a totally different sound from like a dreadnought. So we restrung the J45. So here's how it sounds with new strings. Pretty much in tune. Yeah, this is is a really, really nice old guitar. Woody sound. So let's compare it one more time. Let's see how this is. A bit higher. Yeah, a new guitar. But a nice new guitar. And it's funny that actually, I mean, there's more high in this one, and that also has to do with the fact that the finish is newer. So there's probably that seems to be that seems to make a difference. But it still has very much the character of like the older vintage slope shoulder sound. Woody, you know. Yeah, so this is, from what year is this? I think this is not like the pre-war D18, but it's like a pretty old one. 1968, it's been well played. Really, really nice guitar. So, let's see how that stands, or how the pre-war version of this sounds. Guitar. So it doesn't have like what you see with like a lot of the newer guitars where there's this thing in the highs going on. This guitar has a surprisingly focused sound towards the mids, as far as I can tell. You know, and maybe it takes a bit more time to dig into the sound. You know, it isn't like very instant, like, whoa, it's open sounding, but it's a very warm guitar. Really, really nice. You know, every guitar has a character to it. You know, so yeah, if one guitar, for me, it's a very personal thing. If a guitar really hits you, you know, it really touches you. This one needs a little more attention. You know, like listening in and playing it, then it's sort of like it opens up to you. As soon as there's a song in a guitar, you should buy it, you know? And maybe you could say that as soon as you find a song in a guitar, you know, that is the reason to buy it. I really like to get to know a guitar, you know, so not like, this is not working, you know, next, but just give it time. You know, some guitars do this better than the other ones. You know. An E. Yeah, this is a nice guitar. This is totally different cookie than the other two. I mean, there's a lot more high clarity going on in this one. But still, a very, very nice guitar. More scooped. Rings out really well. Me like. Yeah, it's really nice. It's totally different than the Pre-War. It's more open. This has a bit of more of a scoop sound. You know, if you hit it hard, it has maybe this one. If you know, with time, it'll age really nice. Yeah, this is the airiest one. Very. Okay. So how does this compare to like a real modern guitar, right? So here we have the this is like Martin 000 Eric Clapton, and it sounds like this. This is a different guitar. It's funny to hear, yeah. It's nice. So this is a lot more open, and it's a lot more focused. And it doesn't have, I mean, for me, it doesn't have the, on the high end, it's sort of like, it's a little bit more topped off. But it's really nice. It's more focused. I think that is still a nice guitar, you know. A bit smaller in sound. It's not that loud as that one is. And this is a Dutch builder.
Yes, made by René Jonker.
This is a totally different guitar from the pre-war thing. I like it, but it's a really smaller sound. Yeah, more oomph. Yeah, so for comparison, this is, I mean, this is also, this is where I think, you know, where you come at the point, like, it's almost like incomparable. Actually, for me, they're three totally different guitars. No, but I think maybe that is also like, that's probably the whole thing with Torrefied. You know, Pre-War does everything. They Torrefy the whole thing. The tuning machines, maybe they do not Torrefy that. I hope they don't do with the frets or the strings, but the rest is pretty much all over Torrefied. That's something Atkin doesn't do. I think they only do like the top wood, right? Yeah. So maybe there's the big difference or the difference in sound. Yeah, Atkin and Pre-War, if you compare it, if you know, what I really like is that they both in trying to get very close to the real Pre-War or like the vintage guitar stuff, is they sort of like have their own character as well. So that's as far as I'm concerned, that's a big compliment to the luthier.